SHOT Show 2024 in Las Vegas at the Darn Tough Vermont, which actually could be a commentary on the state itself, now that I think about it. But we haven't talked to Darn Tough for a little while, and here is Tori. We're going to do the Boy Scout handshake left-handed.
Right.
You know the reason why it's left-handed?
Why is that?
There was a tribe that the founder of Boy Scouts, which was out of England, there was a tribe in Africa that he met the leaders of, and they shook hands left-handed because that was their confidence that they would not lose to an opponent that might be armed with the right hand, because you know that we shake hands with right-handed in a way kind of like waving with the right hand to prove that we don't have a weapon in the strong hand, correct?
Absolutely.
That's where it all comes from. In any event,
All right.
Little lesson for Tori. Now, Tori, why don't you give me a lesson, and whoever else is interested in what's new for Darn Tough.
Yeah, so Darn Tough, we are launching a brand new extension of the brand for next fall. We're calling this Wide Open. So Wide Open Socks is a subdivision of Darn Tough Socks. It's coming from our mill, Cabot Hosiery in Mills. And we wanted to come into this space with the same lifetime warranty that Darn Tough currently carries. So for anybody that's not aware, Darn Tough Socks, we are a family-owned business. It's a mill out of Northfield, Vermont. We have been growing year over year, so we actually recently opened up a second knitting facility in Vermont, in Waterbury. But with that expansion, over the years, we've had a lot of feedback from some of our customers where they've had issues with our socks maybe being a little bit too tight for them in places like their forefoot, on the calves in some cases, as well as in many cases, these socks can be a little bit too tight from the distance between your heel and the top of the foot. So with that, we wanted to play around a little bit with our tooling on our machines to come up with something that gives us more stretch. So instead of us just launching Darn Tough Wide, we feel that this really stands alone on its own with what we are calling Wide Open. So a Wide Open sock built on the same machine as a Darn Tough sock. We're still going to have a lifetime warranty with this product. Same materials that we have on Darn Tough socks as well, but the biggest change will be the amount of stretch that goes into these socks. Now, when we start looking at the difference in stretch on a sock, usually it's very simple for us to just add some spandex or stretchy material, but the downside of doing that is we're going to get a sock that doesn't last as long, and we're not going to be able to offer a lifetime guarantee. So the way that we're going to have this stretch incorporated here is we'll knit the sock very similarly to the way that we do from Darn Tough. However, we're just going to actually put a little bit of a difference in the material as well as how far we spread those ridges in the sock to allow for more stretch.
So the ridge, I'm sorry to interrupt,
Yeah,
but the gaps between the ridges are the kind of the engineering, if you will, behind what helps give it the stretchiness.
Absolutely. So instead of just adding more spandex, more of that stretch fabric, we just engineer the socks slightly differently. So right off the bat, when you first slide them on, it's already inherently stretchier right off the bat. In some of our socks within the Wide Open line, it even has less spandex than what we have on the Darn Tough side. So it really comes down to the engineering that's going into the fabrics. Now, very important for us is you look at this full form and you can see that it's obviously wider than a Darn Tough. We can still have our customers that wear Darn Tough socks fit into the Wide Open socks. The big thing that we really wanted with that specific situation was not everybody has a bigger, wider need for a sock everywhere. Some folks may only need a wide sock in their forefoot or in their calf. So what's great about this sock is if you've worn Darn Toughs before, you could put on a pair of Wide Opens, it's going to fit you the same. But for anybody that has those issues with maybe this being too tight around the calf, the sock will accommodate for specifically that area. For anybody that does...
Quick question as well. Is this sock that's on this cardboard cutout,
Yep.
is this in the relaxed state similar to this sock is?
So this one is slightly more stretched. With the relaunch of the new brand, we really wanted to showcase, what this would theoretically look like for our different types of legs and feet that we would be accommodating for. So if I pull this off of the foot form and set these two next to each other, they're actually going to look very, very similar. If we look at the packaging on the wall, they're going to look very similar. That's part of the reason that we wanted to make a different brand when we start talking about Wide Open versus Darn Tough. If we accidentally, you know, let's say I'm at a shoe store and I'm buying a pair of Darn Tough socks, and I were to buy a wide Darn Tough sock without realizing it, I may put that on and go, Darn Tough's changed, I don't like that.
Yeah.
So we felt that we wanted to put it in a different set of packaging to really differentiate what this looks like. So if we look at the difference in the packaging here, these are just two of our women's socks here. This is what the Darn Tough packaging is going to look like. Very clearly says Darn Tough on top. We always put what category that sock line's in, as well as a couple things like still made in Vermont, USA, guaranteed for life. You're gonna have a very similar story on the front of the wide open packaging. For those of you that really weren't sure about it, we always make sure that we have that Darn Tough logo on here just to show you it's still coming out of the same mill.
Very good. Do you know, Brock, can you give me a ballpark figure as to what MSRP would be on this?
Yeah, MSRP is going to be in line with what we see on the Darn Tough side. Will be roughly $22 to $26 depending on the height and the cushion of the socks. These are currently available on our website. So we have a direct-to-consumer site that we launched with just Wide Open. They will be available at retail starting July 15th of this year.
So right around the middle of the year, a little later than the middle of the year.
Absolutely.
And again, that's an approximation.
Correct.
And
Yeah,
that's in brick and mortar stores.
correct. Yeah, it'll be in brick and mortar available at that time. So the big thing for us right now is we're launching direct to consumer to make sure that we're getting positive feedback or even negative feedback. We want to find out what folks are really feeling with these socks, who's doing it the correct way. So the feedback is really nice for us right now to make sure that we're doing this the correct way.
Very good. Outstanding. Anything else that you have to add?
Darn Tough Vermont, our big thing for us this year is we're very excited to announce it's our 20th anniversary. So the company was started in 2004, so we're entering a very exciting time for us. Still made in Vermont, guaranteed for life.
2 decades old. Travel well, brother.
Thank you, Stuart.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Take care.